What's up, Forge family? It's Dr. Nick Smith, sports physical therapist and strength and conditioning coach. If you are new to the channel, stay a while. Come hang out. Subscribe. There'll be more videos every Friday. Today, we are going to talk about thoracic mobility. Upper back stiffness or your thoracic spine is a very common complaint for athletes and generally for most people. Now, most people have this association between bad posture and thoracic mobility, but that's not always the case. Sometimes that bad posture is just simply from adaptations from the things that we do in our everyday life. If you're commuting a lot, driving, or if you're in front of a desk, adaptively our muscles tend to get into a lengthened position and we might be what's deemed bad posture. But here's the cool part. Posture doesn't fucking matter. I said it, I'm gonna piss off a bunch of people with that. Posture doesn't matter until it does. So when we're talking about from a performance standpoint, thoracic mobility or improving our ability to move through our thoracic spine does give us the capabilities of performing exercises better. Thoracic mobility plays a huge role in spine health of our neck and, go figure, your thoracic spine, but it also plays a huge role in our shoulder health as well. So being able to have the thoracic spine move allows for muscles to work better in our shoulder blades and being able to just overall be able to perform the activities that we need to, whether we're a rotational athlete or whether we're a wrestler or even just trying to be a weightlifter and pressing things over our head. Now, there are countless exercises to address thoracic mobility, and I wouldn't say that necessarily one is better than the other because it all matters on what you specifically need. Some people need a little bit more extension. Some people are actually flat backed and they actually need a little bit more flexion. Some people just need rotation just for the abilities to perform the movements that they need to for their sport. So today, I'm gonna give you my 3 favorites. These are ones that I tend to give to most of my clients, and we're gonna give you a little breakdown, just a little bit of the details of how I'd want you to perform these to maximize your thoracic mobility and keep you hopefully, in less pain and help you perform your sport more. Now the first move, wow. Now I'm gonna give you 2 variations to this. So you're gonna get a 2 for the price of 1, but essentially it's the same movement. So all you're gonna go is you're gonna get into what we call a sphinx position or a modified quadruped. So basically you're gonna be on, instead of hands and knees, you're gonna be on forearms and knees. And the reason for that is you're gonna get to use gravity as a way to kind of self-traction. Gravity is gonna kind of assist you through this motion. So to get into the position, we would start in quadruped, which would be hands and knees. Hands directly underneath your shoulders, knees directly below the hips, and then we're gonna drop to the forearms. Now, in here, this is gonna seem like it's not a big deal, but the details are where your spine position is. So common things that happen in this position is we have a natural righting reaction to wanna look forward. So we take out the slack in the spine by going into cervical or neck extension. We don't want that. So we wanna make sure that our neck is in relative neutral. So I'm actually actively pushing my head away from the floor and nodding my chin to put it into a little bit more flexion. The other thing that comes with that is we turn into a twerking video. So too much either posterior tilt or too much anterior tilt is not what we want either. So if we're really trying to isolate the thoracic spine to get the maximum amount of mobility out of it, we want to make sure that we take away the compensatory motions where we would kind of give way. So in my case, I tend to extend a little bit through the neck and through the lumbar spine. Very, very common. So we want to pull the head away from the floor, nod the chin, go into a little bit of a neutral tilt, and then as I rock my hips back, which is the actual motion, I want to drop my sternum towards the floor. And so I'm actively thinking about, okay, drop my sternum as I rock back, while still trying not to look up to take the slack out or arching through my spine. And when I do this, I feel quite a stretch through the middle of my back, almost like the muscles on the side are tearing apart. Not in a dangerous way, just it's intense. Now the little bonus aspect to this actual exercise would be to add a rotational component to the part that's already for extension. So everything's exactly the same. The setup is identical. So we're just gonna get back into the Sphinx position. And then for the sake of your eyeballs, I'm gonna take this hand and I'm gonna lace it through this side. And what you should see as I look away from you is my spine is in a little bit of a corkscrew. And I feel some really strong pulling, more so on my left side. And we call that exercise the thread the needle. So whether you're, at home, in bed, if you have some open floor space, you do yoga, or if you're a jiu-jitsu practitioner, you can do it on the mats. This is a really easy and convenient exercise that you can implement to address either extension or rotation or both at the same time. Now for this next exercise, I really like this one for those who are what I call desk jockeys. You might be a weekend warrior, you do your sports at night or on the weekends, but you sit a lot at your desk. And this is a really easy exercise that you can implement if you have a desk scenario, or if you are at the gym, you can modify this pretty much however you want. You can use your bed, lots of options. So basically I've created a makeshift desk scenario where I'm sitting on my bench and I'm using my plinth here, but you can get the idea, chair, desk. So essentially all you're gonna do, the movements are essentially the same as what we did in the prone position with the Sphinx rock back and the thread of the needle. So what you can do is take your elbows on the desk, and I want you to simply push yourself away, nod your chin, and then you're going to rock yourself back. Now, if you have a rolly chair, the rolly chair can kind of work for you. In my case, I need to rock this back a little bit, so you still get the same idea. So here, I'm going to push my head and neck away and then rock myself back. Now, if I want to get a little bit of lats or open up my scapula a little bit, what I can do is, because the lats are an internal rotator, you can bias your arms into external rotation. Then rock myself back and then basically perform a bicep curl. The tension lessens here, increases here. But essentially the mechanics are the same. Because I'm sitting, my pelvis is a little bit more neutral. I just have to pay more attention to my neck. Then, still the mechanics, dropping my sternum towards the table as I rock back so I can get that segmental elongation that we're looking for. So for those of you who are at a sitting option, you got something on the floor, you got something in sitting, and now I'm gonna show you something in standing. So now that we've gone over an option for on the bed, we've got an option for sitting, now we get one in standing. So all you basically need is some kind of wall space. You can use a door as well, but this is one of the most convenient. If you're at a cubicle, you just need a vertical surface and you're golden. So how to set this up is you're basically gonna go into a little bit of a wall sit. Not like a full wall sit, but basically like, 45 degrees of flexion of your knees. So like a very, very partial squat. Now, where this gets a little tricky is we kind of have to make sure that every piece of our spine, as best as possible, is in contact with the surface of the wall. So right now, I'm making sure that the arch of my back is flat with the surface. For some of you, you may not be able to do this, so you're gonna try your darndest. So back is flat, I can feel my abs are engaged, and then I'm trying to bring the crown, the back of my head up against the wall here. Now, the goal is essentially to get yourself here. Right now, I already feel a stretch. This is already a lot. But if you're spicy, you can go up a little higher. The goal would be to eventually get all the way up. You can hear I'm grunting because I have horrible T-spine mobility, but this is a great option for you. All right, I lied. I said top 3, but if you've watched the video this far, you're getting an added bonus. You're getting the 4th one, which is actually one of my all-time favorites. I call this one the bow and arrow. You also just need a wall for this one, so at first, you're working on more thoracic extension. This one is for the rotational component. So what you're going to do is you're gonna go up against the wall. The inside leg is gonna come forward. Inside arm is at 90 degrees up against the wall here. So with this leg being forward, you're essentially locking out the pelvis, so the lumbar spine is essentially locked in place. Then your top hand is gonna come over the top directly in front of you. Now, all of my movement is gonna occur from my rib cage. Because the ribs actually attach to your thoracic spine, I want to initiate these movements with the muscles that control that. So essentially, I'm starting here, I'm rotating forward to reach, and then I am pulling the bowstring back, hence bow and arrow. Come back, rotate, pull. Now, if you're feeling spicy, you can open up even further and come all the way out here. Come back, rotate, pull, let your head follow your hand if you can, and basically let your body dictate how far you can go. I recommend doing both sides, but just the main components: inside leg and arm, forward, outside, meaning away from the wall, rotate through your rib cage and pull. And spend 45 seconds to a minute on each side, getting enough repetitions in. So I hope you guys enjoyed those different options for improving your thoracic mobility. If you are a posture nerd, these can be for you. But honestly, posture doesn't matter. As I said, there's no one-to-one correlation between your bad posture and your pain. So if anybody's telling you otherwise, they're lying to you. They have no evidence to prove it. But if posture is playing a component and it's something that you can address to improve your pain, here are some options for you. So I hope you guys enjoyed the options that I gave and all the movements that you can maybe implement. No matter where you are in your day, you have something for it. So if you want to see something next in the next videos, be sure to comment below, and we'll see you guys for the next video.